foramen. There's a right and a left one.
Okay.
And don't expect to have these memorized like I did instantly, you know.
Wow.
You know the only reason why I'm taking your night class is I've become used to you.
Is that the reason? Nobody ever gets used to me.
I don't want to have another teacher train me.
I know. Continue.
I should talk to her. She's giving me a hard time.
Chop chop.
Next.
Next, the foramen cecum.
Cecum.
Cecum?
Cecum. There's one view of the cecum, and it's this one. Okay, it's just this. It's this little hole just anterior to the crista galli here.
Take one.
Oh, what do you want me to write down?
Oh,
Okay, you do if you're going to.
Here, let me see.
Okay. That's the foramen cecum. And if you want to know where it is, you can write down in your notes cecum, and you shall find them.
Really?
Does anybody want to know how important it is to learn the parameter of the skull? Anybody want to know how important this is?
Yes.
You need to learn these parameter like you need another hole in your head.
Except
Focus,
Think about
please.
it. Telling my jokes. Don't interrupt me while I'm telling my jokes. Next.
external acoustic meters.
External acoustic meatuses are right in front of the mastoid, prostoid, right here.
It doesn't go in out. No?
It stops at the middle ear, at the tympanic membrane. You know, you got to use a little common sense here. It's not staying. Get in there.
Your ear hole. Wow, is this on the back of the handout?
Ear hole.
No.
Where's this on?
You can't learn the foramen from two-dimensional pictures. You have to learn them from the three-dimensional skull. Take my word for it.
Okay, the next is
Next.
greater palatine.
Okay, the greater palatine foramina. There's one each. There's one each on the horizontal processes of each palatine bone. And while you're here, these are the two graters. Notice that right behind them are little ones. You see the little ones behind?
Itty bitty ones?
Yeah, those are the lesser palatine foramina, and there might be 2 to 5 of those, depending on who you are. But there's usually one greater on each horizontal
So
process.
this one is
Wait,
the
where's the
smaller one.
lesser?
The big one's the greater, and the little ones behind it are the lesser
This-
palatine foramen, or foramina.
This little teeny.
Yes, that teeny
Oh,
bitty,
okay,
itty bitty
that.
Like
one.
a needle in?
So,
Playing with her.
that
Don't
thing?
blame me. Next.
It's really teeny.
Next.
Hypoglossal.
Hypoglossals are superior to the occipital condyles here. They go through here, there.
That's so weird.
Okay, so this is
There.
so helpful. Under condyle.
Well, they don't go through so well on these plastic, but that's where they are right now.
Okay.
Take them on the real one. Take the picture on the real one here. Okay? Hypoglossals. Next,
Incisive.
incisive. There's one incisive on each skull, and it's right behind your central incisors, which are your 2 front teeth. That's why they're called the incisive foramen. Right there and right there. Okay?
Look at the inferior orbital. fish.
Let them look a little bit.
Oh my God.
You know, nobody's as brilliant as you, and they don't absorb it.
Brilliant.
Well, they need to.
Okay, I'm ready
You're
now.
running out of battery juice. Next,
Okay, is inferior.
inferior orbital fissure. Now, these are not holes. A fissure is a cleft-like opening, and I'm going to have to come around. There's, in each orbit, there's an inferior and a superior orbital fissure. Okay, so the one on the bottom is the inferior, the one on the top is the superior. Orbital fissure. See, it's not a hole, it's a cleft-like opening. The one above superior, the one below is inferior.
So on the top it is located.
Top superior, the bottom's inferior.
Okay.
I don't know. Thanks. Yeah, I see it. Thanks.
Next,
It's what
infraorbital foramen are right below the orbits. Infraorbital foramen, outside and below the orbits.
Thanks. All this one, thanks. Nice. Can you?
Keep in mind it's upside down. Yes, next, internal. The internal acoustic meatus comes out of the petrous portion of the temporal bones internally here.
Okay, so this is internal.
Oh, let me come here. These are the internal acoustic meatuses. I'll tell you a little interesting bit of anatomical information when I finish this.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, what's interesting there, we're gonna have to, I'm gonna give you homework for about the cranial nerves, but there are 12 cranial nerves, and the facial and the glossal, the vestibular cochlea enter here. That's the 7th and 8th cranial nerves. They both enter this hole. The 8th cranial nerve is for hearing and equilibrium, so it stops in the middle ear. But the facial nerve, number 7, enters this hole, but goes down and comes out the stylomastoid foramen, which is in your handout. So that's why I go over. No, it's too technical, but I thought you might be interested.
Yes, I am.
Next, jugular foramen. Okay, jugulars are right behind the carotids. The jugulars are right behind the carotid canals. What's the matter?
What was this called? Wasn't that?
That's the jugular notch.
Okay.
It's just the shape of it, because it's like shape of it, like a jug, that's why. Foramen lacerum. Okay, keeping moving. You remember the basilar portion of the occipital bone here? Does anybody remember that? Right on either side there are the foramen lacerums. This guy's deteriorated, so you really can't see them very clearly, as opposed to here, you can see them very clearly. See how? Right there. Those are the foramen lacerums.
Oh my good God.
What's your problem? She has a problem? Sounds like she has a problem. No problem? Okay, lacrimal foramen is at the bottom of the lacrimal fossas here. It's the hole that leads down into the nasal cavity here on the lacrimal bones. Lacrimal foramen.
You missed the holes.
Thank you very much for pointing that out to me. I appreciate it.
Looks kind of scary.
Next, lesser palatine we did, flip it over. Foramen magnum, hopefully everybody knows where the foramen magnum is at this point, right there. Big hole right there.
And we're on 14.
Next, mandibular, okay, the mandibular foramen are the inside, are on the inside of the rami, inside the rami of the mandible, right there. Those are the mandibular foramen. And passing through there is the inferior alveolar branch of the mandibular branch of the 5th cranial nerve, trigeminal. So if you were having dental work on your bottom row of teeth, that's where you put the xylocaine right there.
Wow.
Okay, because all of that supplies your teeth.
Wow.
Okay, now on the front of the body, these two little holes here, while we're here on the chin, what's the anatomical term for chin? Mental. So these are the mental foramen, right there. The 2 mental foramen on the outside of the body. Okay? Okay, mastoid foramen are unusual because some people have none, some people have 1, 2. Here's a nice one. Any hole behind the mastoid process is a mastoid foramen. Here's 1 on here, here's 2 over here. Let's see, on a plastic job, there might not be any. Let's see, here's 1, mastoid. Okay?
He's not going
Right
on.
here. Any hole behind the mastoid process. Okay, it only transmits an emissary vein, which is for draining the scalp. So if they don't have them there, they go through here, they go through any hole. Okay, they don't need a special hole in some people. Next, olfactory foramen. Okay, the olfactory foramen are all these little holes on the cribriform plate. All those little holes on the cribriform plate are the olfactory foramina. Hopefully you know that olfaction means smell. So your first cranial nerve is for smell, and it goes through all of those little holes there on the way to the nasal cavity, where you smell from. So hopefully you can remember that. Next. Okay, the optic foramen is the only hole in the orbit. The other two openings are fissures, remember? So here are the optic foramen coming around. Take a look. Optic.
So where the fissure is?
Okay.
I'm just how you differentiate.
This is the inferior orbital fissure, and then above it's the superior orbital. Fissure's a cleft-like opening,
Okay.
okay? What goes through there? Anybody? Who remembers without looking at the paper? Did anybody study these yet? You better start memorizing these. Optic nerve and the ophthalmic artery. You need to know everything that goes through.
Oh, jeez.
That's not funny.
Okay? Next, the ovale. Now, the next three I'm going to give you are all on the greater wing of the sphenoid. Who's got my greater, my plastic thing? So, when I was a student a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago,
50 years ago.
I remember the following three foramina by making up a mnemonic: rotten old socks. Rotten old socks, okay? Starting off anteriorly, you have the rotundums, rotten, ovale, old, and then on the spine of the spinosum. So you have the rotundum, ovale, spinosum, rotundum, ovale, spinosum. Okay, and if you want to
Wait,
see
where
them,
is that?
I'm going to show you right here. These are the rotundums. Those are the rotundums. The most anterior on the greater wings, rotundums. Then moving back, oval-shaped here and here are the ovales, and then the little ones right next to them are the spinosums. Ovale, spinosums.
Wait, what?
Ovale,
The bigger ones
spinosum.
are oval.
The big one?
The oval one and bigger one is the ovale, then the one over here is the
The little itty bitty one?
spinosum.
Okay, so it's two different ones.
Rotundum, ovale, spinosum. Rotundum, ovale, spinosum.
Rotten old socks.
Rotten old sock.
Okay.
Okay? Next. Stylomastoid is very easy to find just between the styloid process and the mastoid process. Here and here. And this is where the seventh cranial nerve exits. Remember, it starts its journey out of the skull in the internal acoustic meatus, but here's where it comes out of the skull on the stylomastoid foramen. Where's the other thing?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for that other pointy
pointy.
one.
Oh, it's right by you.
Yeah.
Ah, good.
What'd you say?
There's one on this side too. Styloid, mastoid, between the styloid and mastoid process. Okay? Next. Okay, that's it. We're done. We did the superior orbital fissure, and we did the supraorbital foramen. Here they are, right? Above and outside of the orbits.
Orbital ridges.
Right above the supraorbital ridges.
Wait.
Supraorbital foramen.
Okay.
Okay, don't go back. Homework. Homework. Easy. Take you 5 seconds. Okay? Need 12 index cards. 12 index cards. On the front of each index card, you're going to write a Roman numeral, 1 through 12. Okay? And all this information is in the handout I gave you on the cranial nerves. Okay, starting off with Roman numeral 1, you flip it over, you write the name of the nerve, olfactory. You write whether it's a sensory nerve, a motor nerve, or both sensory and motor.